Without imagination, life can be quite dull and colorless, like this room we're in. But when we put our mind to something and we shape reality around us, you might just find that you can manifest color, thought, and everything imaginable into a brand new reality that surrounds you. The power of the mind is not some trivial notion. Within every thought, everything that comes before it, and everything that comes into physicality after, there is a connection. There is a process where things go from the third to the fourth to the fifth, back to the third, dimensionally speaking. When we take something from a physical form, i.e. our brain, and we shape it within the fourth, the mental plane, as you would say, it can give birth into the fifth, beyond something quasi-physical, not fully physical. And therein lies the ability for manifestation to come back full circuit into the third dimension. Now, a lot of this sounds maybe convoluted or a bit woo-woo out of there. To some, sure, okay, that's fair. But what if I told you that there's a technique called neurogenic reprocessing? And this is stimulating your own neurology to change and readapt patterns that are already existent inside of you. And through the power of the mind, you can rewrite those programs, the same as they were programmed within you as a child through your own experiences of growing up, the fears, the pains, learning, growth, etc. that happened that shaped you to become who you are. Those very things that were learned and adapted to can be changed, and something else can be put in place of that. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be using the power of imagination, the power of the mind, to affect us on a physical level, to change something within our own neurology. It requires three things, really. The ability to have fun like a child. I'm pretty good at that. The use of metaphor and color, and also the willingness to experience, to use the imagination. If we can put these three things together, we can do some pretty cool work on ourselves. We're going to explain neurogenic reprocessing step by step, and we're going to first give a basic outline, and then we're going to give an advanced outline. This is something you can do an unlimited amount of times daily. You can use for anything. It can change something positive that you want enhanced even more, and it can also rewrite something negative and put something positive in its place instead. The way that you're going to start can be seated or can be standing. Can have eyes open or can have eyes closed. That doesn't really matter. We're tricking the subconscious mind. And the greatest part about it is it can be aware and it still works. So you're going to focus on a feeling, something that you can easily grasp. For example, if I think of anxiety, or I think of being quick to rise to anger, or depression. Think about joy. I can think about wealth manifestation. I can think about countless other things. The limitation of this process is dependent upon you. You can use neurogenic reprocessing for everything and anything. If you wanted to expand on this a little bit, you can use it for things that are very physical and very mental, such as varying disorders of the mind and the body, or you can use it for magical reasons as well. You can use it in ritual practice, etc., like for helping you to maintain connection or have a deeper interaction with spirit. So, like I said before, this being something that is dependent upon you, this tool is going to be applied the way you want to apply it. I'm just going to give you a couple examples to get you started. First, let's just take anxiety, our dear old friend. We're going to give it a color and we're going to give it a shape. So when I feel anxiety, keyword feel, so I want you to think of the feeling. So when I think of anxiety, I feel it in the pit of my stomach. So the first step is find the feeling in your body. You don't have to think too hard on it, because we can all identify where something feels like it originates just by focusing on it. So I get this pit in my stomach, right? And if I'm going to give it a color, it's this ugly brownish yellow. And then if I want to elaborate this metaphor a little bit more, then I'm going to give it the shape. Now this muddy yellowish brown pit in my stomach has this like warbled little shape. I couldn't really give it to you as a description other than kind of like an amoeba moving. Now, this is where we start. We pull out the anxiety from the stomach. And this is where you're going to engage with that childlike play and wonder. Use your imagination, even if you don't feel it. We're doing deep chi exercise here, but also in the same vein, we are hypnotically inducing a forced connection of rapport with this part of our neurology. So you're going to pull out everything, and only when you feel like you have it all in front of you, you're going to hold it like a basketball. You're going to notice the rotation that it's spinning in, clockwise, counterclockwise, up and down, or even in a fractal type of way. It doesn't really matter. So for me, it's spinning in this direction, and I like that direction, but it's spinning slowly. So we're going to stop the spin, and we're going to really engage the body. This action right here of spinning it wildly out of control is what's going to anchor it into a more positive light for us in our body by the synaptic experience and connection. So once you've got it spinning wildly out of control, like it can never go back in the other direction, you're going to slam it back into where you took it out of your body. Deep breath, exhale, and let it circulate throughout you.
Hey everybody, thank you for watching the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. And also, for the full featured version of this episode,